What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about a movie that I've already seen before, and it is a few years older now, but I wanted to revisit it for one particular reason, and that is because it is from director Tilman Singer, who just directed the film Cuckoo. And if you did not see, I did a full review of Cuckoo a few days ago, and I absolutely loved that movie. I thought it had great performances. It was super atmospheric, beautifully shot, had really unique sound design, felt so special and such a wholly unique vision. And I remember watching this movie the first time and really enjoying it. And I know this movie's only like 70 minutes. And I think in the first time I watched it, I was so impressed with what it was able to accomplish in such a short period of time. And so it's currently streaming on Shudder. I went back and checked it out, and the movie I'm going to be talking about with you today is Lose. Lose is directed by Tilman Singer. Lose, a young cab driver, drags herself into the brightly lit entrance of a rundown police station. A demonic entity follows her, determined to finally be close to the woman it loves. So, as I said, I've already seen this movie once. This was a revisit for me, and I think I loved it even more this time around. It was really cool to watch this movie after having seen Cuckoo and see how much of what makes Tilman Singer such a special director translated into that movie. This movie is highly stylized. It's beautifully shot. The cinematography, it feels like something out of a completely different era. It's very eerie and unsettling. It's awkward and uncomfortable in moments, very similarly to Cuckoo. And it's trying to give off a very specific tone that I feel like was reminiscent of a lot of late 70s and early 80s horror films. And I appreciate that a lot. I feel like there aren't a lot of modern directors that are able to capture that essence so perfectly. And I'm excited to tell you about this movie today. At the beginning of the film, we are introduced to Luz, who, as the plot description states, is going into this police station, and she's very distraught. She's repeating these lines of dialogue to herself, and she's just seemingly rattled by something. And we hear this woman at the police station talking. She's going to be interrogated, and they're trying to get a hold of this person who's going to come and interrogate her. And that is Dr. Rossini, who we are introduced to at a bar, and he's sitting at the bar drinking, and Nora comes up and approaches him, and the two of them start having a very long conversation, and it's very eerie and ominous. After this whole set of circumstances occurs between these two characters, the doctor gets a page to come to the police station to be a part of this questioning of Luz for something that happened to her that evening while she was driving her cab. And the entirety of the film takes place in this examination room, and is this doctor questioning Luz about what was happening, but there's something a lot more sinister going on underneath the surface. So, as I said, I think this movie is incredible. For starters, the performances here are fantastic, especially the actor who plays the doctor. He is asked a lot of in this movie. He has to have some very emotionally intense moments where he does some really off the wall insane things, and he's just incredibly captivating. He's also very expressive, which makes his performance incredibly intense. I also think the actress who plays Luce does a phenomenal job as well. She is very like beaten down and broken up about this situation that has occurred. She also spends a lot of the movie reflecting on her past trauma, and there's a lot through the expressiveness of her face, and I think that it makes the movie so much more engaging to watch when you have really solid performances. As I said, the cinematography in this is exceptional. Luz was shot on 16 millimeter film, and it shows because it is gorgeous. Every scene in this movie, the aesthetic that accompanies being shot on film, it just, like I said, it feels like something that was put in a time capsule that just transports you to a different era of filmmaking. There are so many sequences in this movie because it takes place in one room that the director gets very creative with how it's presented to you. They essentially hypnotize Luz into recollecting the events that happen in the night when she's driving her cab, and they set these chairs up and give her like a rear view mirror to make it feel like she's in a car. And like the sound design and the visuals make it feel like it's really happening, and it's such a unique experience because of how much your brain has to imagine, but because of the incredible sound design and the way they incorporate certain things, it makes it feel so realistic. So even though you're recounting this person's very specific experience, because of the attention to detail and the cinematography, it makes it super easy to invest yourself in. There's also some scenes during the third act where the room just gets covered in smoke, and it's so eerie and ominous, and you never know what's going to happen in the next second, which makes the movie incredibly unsettling. And I loved that about it. As I said, the sound design in this is phenomenal. There are so many different moments where I feel like the sound plays such a key role in just where audio is placed and what it does to accompany a specific moment. And similar to Cuckoo, where the audio was so incredibly important, it seems like Tilman Singer understands paying very close attention to the way the audio is mixed, how it immerses the audience in the experience. And ultimately, as the plot description states, this is a movie about possession, but I feel like there's a lot more you can pull from it. And this is only my second time seeing it, but I feel like even watching it again, having an idea of what I was getting into, there was more I could pick apart, especially like when you look at religious trauma. There's a lot centralized around how Luz went to this Catholic girls' school and the way these girls were treated. And there's a lot of sequences that kind of allude to the abuse from people in the church and the psychological abuse that they've experienced. There's also a couple of moments that touch on sexual identity, and I feel like there's a lot you can pull out of that from multiple rewatches. And what I like is it's ambiguous, but it's also satisfying. I feel like when the movie ends, despite its ambiguity, I feel like you're given just enough to hang on to keep your mind going long after the film is over. And those are my favorite type of movies to watch. And I think if you were a fan of Cuckoo, you should 100% check this movie out. But even if you're not, if you like 70s and 80s horror that is in an isolated location with really great cinematography and fantastic performances, you 100% need to check this movie out. So have you seen Loose? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was incredible. I loved everything about it, and I'm really looking forward to watching it again. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.